What's up, Street Thugs? Brigg here, and we're gonna go over my brute rad fire. Uh, I want to say PVE, but it's all PVE. My task force build. This is the build I use not to farm with. It can farm, but it's not as good as my farming build. But this one is designed to use for task force primarily. So it's a little more rounded out. It's not just focused on fire defense and fire resistance. It has 80% smashing and lethal. It has 90% fire. I mean, that's a given. And then it has 75% for energy. It is weak to toxic and psi. Toxic, it only has like 30%, maybe 35, and psionic is 5%. So it doesn't have hardly any psionic. So you do have some weaknesses, but for the main key ones, it is there. For my defense, is I focus on melee defense, and melee defense is at about 45, 46%, because most of the time I'm going to be right there because I want to take advantage of burn. So that is my build for that. It's pretty rounded out. It's not maxed out on resistances, but it's very durable and very usable and just murders so fast. So that's a fun build. But we're going to kind of go over this. So you can see here radiation melee. I have radioactive smash, taunt, radiated ground, atomic atom smasher, and fusion. And you'll see here I have crushing impact in these. And that is because I get that extra lethal and smashing resistance, which is important. And then we have for irradiated ground, I have all 6 obliterations, and that's because lethal and smashing, you get increased damage, which is great. Accuracy is awesome. Recharge is awesome, and you get 3.75% melee defense, so that's key. And then we'll jump down here to Atom Smasher. I have 5 of the Armageddons. Now, I did switch these around on my mids build, and I'll probably end up doing it here. I flipped it so I did take the proc for the fire damage, because an extra bonus fire damage is, why not? And I did kind of work it a little bit, so I'm focusing more on damage and accuracy and recharge rather than endurance. But if you were going to copy this build, I would definitely throw that chance of fire in there, that proc, fire damage proc. And then down for fusion, I would have loved to have had the adjusted targeting one, or no, I'm sorry, not the adjusted, the Gossens one, or however you say that, for the chance for buildup. But with this setup, when you take 3, you get an extra 3% to energy resistance, and that's a big one because you're trying to squeeze as much of those out of little places as you can. So I got 3 of those. And those are mainly focusing on 2-hit buffs and recharges. And then Aura, Fiery Aura, we got Fire Shield, Blazing Aura, Healing Flames, Temperature Protection, Plasma Shield, Consume, and Burn. And so for Fire Shield, a lot of these, well, actually almost all of them, anything that has to do with resistance, I took Unbreakable Guards. Now, this Fire Shield one, I did take the max HP bonus enhancement one. And so I took 4 of those, which you can see there. And then I took Gladiator's Armor. You have the Steadfast and Gladiator's Armor. It is very specific that I keep Gladiator's Armor in here, and we'll go over that here in a little bit when we get to Steadfast. But in Gladiator's Armor I stuck here, and that's for the teleport protection and plus all defense. And then for Blazing Aura, I took all 6 of them because you get a lot of damage. You get, at the 6th one, you get energy. Resistance at 6%, so that's a big one. You also get a melee defense at 5%, so those are awesome. Definitely one you want to take. Plus, you get 6% fire and cold, but I mean, we're using a fire build, so that's going to be, a given. Down to Healing Flames, again, I took Unbreakable Guard for the same reason, melee defense and energy resistance. And then I threw in the Miracle for the extra recovery. Temperature Protection, same thing as Healing Flames. It's not the exact same ones because Healing Flames focuses on the recharge ones, where Temperature Protection focuses on the resistance ones. But again, 4 of them Unbreakable Guards. And then here, this is where we come to the Steadfast Protections. I have 2, and the reason is because you have resistance and defense, which, I mean, most builds have that. And then we took knockback protection, because the way this build is set up with fire, unfortunately, fire tanks are set up, and unless you get that knockback somewhere else, you're not going to get it in the primary build. So just so that I have some knockback, even though it's only 4, it's something. It's something to resist, all the minor knockbacks, because then it gets really annoying because you're flopping around. So I do have some knockback there. Plasma shield, same thing. It's just like temperature protection. It's 4 of the unbreakable guards. Everything that pretty much focuses on resistance. Consume, we took all but the chance for knockdown. Chance for knockdown is nice, but mainly I took those 4 because, again, increase defense for melee, which is a key. And then fire and cold is a given, but it improves your recovery. I mean, the main reason I took that whole set is just for the melee defense. Come down here, burn for Superior's Brute. Did I even mention the other one? Avalanche, yeah, Superior Avalanche. Superior Brute Fury, I took them all. You got recharge time, you got damage bonus, you have lethal and smashing defense and lethal smashing resistance. Big boost to both, so those are definitely one. Plus you get some mez off that too, so that's good. And then we'll come over here to health. Now for health, typically in most of my builds I just stick like Numina, 1 Numina. And this one I have 5. And I did take obviously regeneration recovery. You also get lethal and smashing resistance, which is at 3.75. So that one's awesome. Stamina, I just took a stamina. I'm not really sold on the whole endurance modification proc. I'm not sold on it. I've never really been sold on it. I know you can get a decent amount when it procs, but I've been a lot happier with just an IO in there, just a level 50 IO. And then we'll jump down here to combat jumping. This one, it's accuracy, but mainly why I took 5 Luck of the Gamblers. I mean, obviously we're going to take the global recharge, but lethal and smashing resistance, again at 375. 375 is huge. So anytime I see 375, I'm going to take it. So I got 5 there. And we'll kind of jump down here to super speed. I took a sprint and 2 recharges. Come down to concealment. Concealment, I've often used before. It's mainly a mule setup, but you'll see I do have 4 of the shield wall gladiator procs in here, or gladiator enhancements, and that is because 1, you get the shield wall protection and resist all, which is huge, but you also get energy and melee resistance at 4.5%, which is huge. I mean, if I was short on energy, I would throw a whole bunch more of those, but if I could, I would, but you would end up losing a lot of stuff everywhere else. And then of course, Grant and Visibility both have global recharges. And I come down here to fighting. Fighting, again, I have crushing impacts. That's again to get the lethal and smashing. For tough, now generally with my fire farmer build, I don't use not leadership, but fighting. I'm not a big fan of tough and weave. They're just huge endurance drains, and I can get what I need from other things. But in this case, because we want more of a rounded out task force type character, you need that extra resistance because, fire resistance, fiery aura. Once they nerfed it years ago, which is like decades ago or a decade ago now, once they nerfed it, it lost a lot of viability. And so this way, if I got tough and weave, I can really increase my resistance on tough and weave the way I have it set up. But here again, unbreakable guards, resistances, and then the same setup I have on stealth. I have here global recharge and then the 4 shield walls to get that extra energy and negative energy resistance. And if you're in PvP, you also get the lethal and smashing resistance. And there is room to grow on that because, like I said earlier, I'm only at 80% smashing and lethal. And then we'll go down here. Now, this one's a little bit different than what I have set up on mids. I haven't gotten around to respecking this one. But on mids, I actually have the electrical ones. Moon Lightning, Electronic Fences, and Ball Lightning. And then for the Ball Lightning, I have, the Ragnaroks. It's your choice if you want to do a knockdown. I mean, knockdown does do mitigation. And if you're fighting toxic inside, that would be helpful. But I have mainly Ragnaroks just because accuracy and recharge. I mean, I actually wanted to switch those out to maybe obliteration to get more smashing and lethal and more energy, but I am already capped at the rule of 5 on those. So even if I threw obliteration in there to get more smashing and lethal, it wouldn't do anything for my build. So to take advantage of more recharge and accuracy, I threw the Ragnaroks in there. Because purples, you know, hey, purples are always good. And then for, I think it's electronic fences, I have Annihilation in there, and I have the proc for the resistance debuff. So, but this build works out really well as far as most task forces. Some of the ones that have a lot of toxic, I mean, you're going to take some damage, but you're still going to be pretty survivable. Even if they do, I mean, you're still going to have 46% melee, and if you're within melee range, you're still going to have a chance to dodge most of it, but you are going to take some damage when they hit you if they're doing toxic. But overall, this is a really fun, like, standard PVE, standard content build. It's very survivable, and it just obliterates everything. I mean, it's so much fun to just wreak havoc on this setup. Because I'll take this into a speed run for like ITF. Now, granted, ITF has all those stupid negative defense debuffs, and that's always. I mean, if you get overwhelmed and you're by yourself, you can go down really fast. But that's most builds. I mean, I think my best tank doesn't even stand a chance there with all the minus defense. But overall, it still has a lot of 80% smashing lethal, so you're gonna last a little longer. But it melts everything so fast. So as long as you get in there in that mob and just unleash all your AoEs, your burns, your Atom Smasher, your Ball of Lightning, everything's gonna die really fast. But that's my setup there. So hope you can. I'm all shaking the table, so everything's all vibrating for you guys. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you liked that, please like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Share with your friends. Ring the bell for notifications. I appreciate all your support. Thank you for watching. Stay golden. Take care. Bye-bye.